worried about that.
It's all good. I love how you stopped. As if like this is a professional production.
Yeah. I'm so used to being live.
We're coming back from a
By the
commercial
way,
break.
we don't edit this out. This will be part of the podcast.
That's fine.
But you really think that our podcast is up here as far as professionalism, when really it's below.
Listen, I only come to professional podcasts, so I would have said no. No, just kidding.
Well, joke's on you.
Yeah, this is not professional.
This is not. No, we are professionals.
Yeah, you got a whole drum set with your logo on.
Oh yeah. Listen, perception's everything. So, moving forward, our next segment is drum industry news here. Typically, this is where we like to shed light on facets of the drum industry or the music industry in general that people don't know about. Do you have a topic for us? I had a topic planned.
We could go with Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
That's the hot topic of today.
It's way too relevant to today. And I'm not going to edit this for a while. No, I'm just... no, but our topic today is not on feuds. It is on... It is actually about awards and accolades. And I know from doing the podcast, you meet people a lot. I know you just went to the CMPMAs or whatever. CPMAs, the Central Pennsylvania Music Awards.
And we just had our own little award show, too.
And you just did your own award show. Yeah. So I thought this would be a good thing to bring up because you have a lot of experience, more experience than Sean and I. We make up things like this podcast so we can give ourselves awards.
There you go.
You know,
we have a Hall of Fame. It's created by us. It's like
we decide.
It has no clout. You know, it's just what we decide.
Just what we decide. So we, but I thought this would be a good thing to talk about. So if you could talk about kind of like, you know, the perspective of award shows and the CPMAs, CMPAs, whatever it is.
CPMAs.
and then talk about the genesis of creating your own.
Sure.
And just kind of dive into that a little bit because it's something that people put a lot of stock. Some people put a lot of stock in.
Sure.
Other people think it's totally bogus and not even worth your time.
So there's a bunch of people that think it's a popularity contest. And I understand that because half of it is. But on the other side, we have a great amount of talent here in Central Pennsylvania from all genres. All genres are covered very well here. Mm-hmm. And there's also just a giant history of great musicians that come out of this area.
Sure, yeah.
It can be as relevant as Taylor Swift, or you can go as far back as the Quintones, right? And they're all here, and it's incredible. And the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame, I've had a really good relationship with them. Know Brandon really well. We've had 2 podcasts together on my show, and I've had several members on the show. Their heart is really in the right place. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, there's some people that disagree with that, but I think it's fun. I mean, it's a whole night where they get the entire music community, all the way from like Altoona, Wilkes-Barre, Lancaster, you know, in like this 5-city area that we have, mm-hmm. Reading, York, Lancaster, Harrisburg, and Hershey. They get them all together for one night. It's a huge networking event, and these awards, in the end, don't really matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just points, you know, whatever. And it's just, more so, it's just accolades and just recognition. That having that attached to your name is going to get you gigs that it wouldn't have before. And it doesn't matter if it's only been like the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame has only been here for 5 years or whatever. It's still a nice industry.
Yeah.
Check mark. You know what I mean? It's like I got nominated, 1, 2, I maybe won an award. Mm-hmm. And I get to display, and they're really cool awards. I wish I brought mine.
We don't allow that here until we
no
win
awards
one for having.
I'll tell you what.
No, I'm just kidding.
If I had won one of those awards, I would carry it with me everywhere I went.
Oh,
it's
bro.
cool.
I would carry it with me everywhere.
Bro.
It's like a slammy. I'd be carrying that slammy. You know what I'm talking about. I'd be Owen Hart, and I'd carry those babies with me everywhere I went.
He's already pandering to hopefully someone seeing this podcast to get his band an award. Yeah. Or just him an award.
No, I won an award.
Sean Groff for being...
Not the band. I won
the band.
Awesome. The awesome award.
Yeah. The outstanding achievement in the field of excellence.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing. I really do. I feel like they really honor the community. I really do feel like that. And I love the award show. I love Brandon, what he's doing with the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame as the founder and president, getting the youth involved, putting all sorts of shows, working with 105 The X, and doing the local show night. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sean, what's your opinion?
Thumbs up.
I'm gonna go with Corey on this one
Crank it
as
up.
far as like, am I cranking it up or am I turning it down? I know that's not the question you asked me, but
That's always the
yeah,
question. That's
it's-
basically-
it's-
that's
I don't
always the
know so
question.
much. I'm gonna say like with him with the drum heads, the fiber skin calf tone drum heads or whatever it is. I don't know too much about it. I see it in the Pennsylvania magazines and online and see who's nominated for these awards. But other than that, I don't know too much about it. For some reason, maybe I've just flew under the radar so much that they haven't reached out to me.
Sean's a sleeper pick.
You know what I
He's a
mean? So
sleeper
they
pick.
haven't, I haven't, and that's all purpose, actually. That's by
Right.
design.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
purposely flying
Listen
under
to
the
this
radar. So anyway, no, I don't really know too much about it. I don't know who's running it. I don't know who picks the people. I don't know what happens when the people get picked. I don't know anything. So, but I will say after what you said about their hearts are in the right place, because it can't. What I do know about award shows is that sometimes the hearts aren't in the right place. Like,
Right.
Like I don't know anything about the Pennsylvania music awards thing, but I do know about the Grammys. I do know about I used to watch the MTV Music Awards.
Oh, yeah.
I used to see that kind of stuff. And it is a little bit of a popularity contest from what you hear from people being nominated, actors, musicians, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's like the bands that have been snubbed all these years. Why is that? You never know. Why haven't I been recognized after all these years? I don't know. It might be someone in there, that's like, okay.
There's someone
Someone
in there
that
like, not
hate
Sean
Sean
Groff.
So anyway,
Groff.
I don't know this stuff. But as long as their hearts are in the right place, then I'm on board. I think it's
Yeah.
super cool and
I
super
think
neat.
I really do think so. The way it works is that, allegedly, I'm pretty sure this is the way it works. Every one of the members of the board gets a vote, and then the fan voting is one vote. So whoever wins the fan vote gets that one vote, and then everybody else kind of votes on who they think had the best song, best album, best country singer. Blah, blah,
Kind
blah,
of
blah.
the electoral college voting system.
Yeah, a little bit,
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think it's really well done. I mean, there are people that get slip under because the board can only know so many bands out of the a million bands
Sure.
here.
It's crazy.
And out
yeah.
of the
that's right.
a million songs coming out of this area every single year. So I do understand that it's a large undertaking and some people do get slipped under. But in the end, I feel like the heart is really in the right place.
Yeah, yeah. So you've now had your own
That's right.
experience. Again, perception's everything. You can now once you talk to a certain amount of people,
Award
you have
winner.
this. You really have that award-winning kind of thing attached to your name. But talk a little bit about from your behind the scenes. Obviously, now you've learned as much as you can from these other local-ish shows and things. What were your goals going into kind of creating your own? Like what is very important to you? What is something you wanted to do differently, perhaps, with
So
your
you're
kind
talking
of
about
show?
my award show?
Yeah.
So my award show works like this. Out of the 100 or so artists that I have on every single year, I pick 10 or 11 of them, and we do a showcase. So this past April 21st, we had my award show. We had Aaron Nadine, Tommy B, Brendan Starr, Shane Frem, not Clifton, Cody Tyler, and
Not Clifton.
not Clifton. Unfortunately, got snubbed this year.
It's his new drummer. It's his new drummer.
That's exactly the reason why.
One drummer short.
One drummer short, and we had. I'm gonna feel so bad that we almost had Tanis and Dave Gates, but they couldn't make it for their own specific reasons, and that's okay. We had Ruddy Turnstone, and we had Liam Galliano of All Groove.
I went to high school with Liam Galliano.
Did you really? That's so
I did.
cool.
That's crazy.
He just got married. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Liam.
congrats, man. Shout out.
Absolutely, and Sarah Beth Fiore as well. We had her, and it was a wonderful time. And so I chose those guys because they're a variety, very very much varied artists.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I don't think this area has enough variety shows.
Yeah.
Especially local variety shows.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
Even venues have kind of decided their lanes.
Exactly.
And it's like, yeah, this is where you go if you play metal. This is where and it's kind of like, there's a couple awesome local places like the Upside. You been out to the Upside?
I haven't been to the
Okay,
Upside
you
ever
gotta get
since
out there.
Corey
Those guys-
Paternoster has owned it.
Yes. Those guys, Corey, Brian, and Nate, they're really doing a variety show.
Because he stole my name.
It's true. It's true. Who was born first? That's really
He was.
But anyway, variety show. Variety
Yeah,
show.
variety
so
show. Yep.
so.
But that wasn't his birthday.
You said there were 11 artists.
This time there was 9.
Okay, so there are 9 artists come in. At this point, there aren't any decisions made. Have they all won something, or is the showcase where you decide who wins,
So
like an award officially?
when it hits January, I kind of go over, okay, I have my specific categories. The year prior, I had a lot more categories, but this time I was running out of money and I needed to save money. So
Nice.
I shortened down the categories.
It's a real deal.
It
man.
is a
Yeah.
real deal. Because last time I paid like $500 for these awards, and they were like little tiny crystal awards. This time they were only 15 a pop, and they were like wooden engraved awards, which were really sweet.
If you want some wooden engraved
Yeah.
drumsticks for awards, you know
That
where to
would be
find
kind of
them.
cool.
Dude, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea. Put them on like a little stand. So what I did is I go back. I look at first off, it's a story podcast. Got to find a wildest story,
Yes.
right? Got it. That's done deal. Has to be done.
Yes.
Then it's host favorite episode. Which one did I enjoy the most? And these awards can only go to the previous podcast guests of the
Right.
previous
Of
year.
that year.
Of that year, yeah.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So people that want to be nominated, it's not a general music awards. It is the story awards,
Right.
specifically tailored to the story, not anything else. So don't feel bad if you didn't get included. So that was one of the problems. Why didn't you ask me to play? I was like, you weren't on the show last year. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Get on
And
the
that's
show
how it
this
is.
year.
It's about what's new. It's new stuff. Just like the awards. They're winning awards about what movie came out this year. They're not winning something they did 10 years, You're
Right.
not competing against Save a Private Ryan anymore. You know
No,
what I mean?
you're not. Thank God.
That's gone.
You'd still
That's
be
gone.
losing.
Yes.
So fan favorite song or my favorite song that was ever presented. We do the songwriter studio. We do the single review. So I'll choose the highest, because in every single review we rate from 1 to 10 how much we like the single. So highest rated single review, highest rated album review, because we do the album review as well.
Yeah.
And then song of the year and most unique music that I've had on the show, and so stuff like that.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So these awards and things I've seen firsthand. Obviously, we were just talking about Clifton. He didn't win anything this last year, but he just said nominated, and he put that on a whole bunch of stuff. And you're right; it gets you in the door.
Gets you in the door.
No matter what you
But-
think of these award shows, whether it's super small or it's a local thing or it's a centralized thing or a regional thing or huge or it's huge, that adding that to your name to people who don't know you kind of legitimizes what you're doing, even though that
does.
should not be what legitimizes what you're doing. It's the songwriting and the stuff you're putting out,
100%.
or just the live shows if you're not putting out new music. That's what actually matters.
Yes.
But the goal of all of us professional musicians in here is to share, but also to be making money, supporting
Right.
ourselves as musicians. And to support yourself, you need people in the door. You know what I mean? So this is a tool that you can leverage to, and not twist, but leverage in its full definition to get more people in the door to see you. And then if you put on a good show, you're going to win them over, and that's how you build. There's that second part. You know what I mean? You can get 100 new people at every show, but if you're not delivering on the experience and the music of what they expected to come out to you, you're toast.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Clifton Bryant always, he puts on his even on his websites that he was nominated, right? But still, Neons in Florida, they actually think that you guys were like the winner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
So we Clifton said, yeah, I've been nominated for these awards or whatever. But by the time we get down there, they got all these like signs and billboards and different things like Central Pennsylvania Music Award winner, Clifton Bryant Country. And I'm
Right.
like, I'm not going to correct them.
I'm not gonna correct them, right? Exactly.
I'm like,
That's wonderful.
I might as well. not
That's
do
great.
it.
I love it.
Ah,
I
might
think
as
it's
well
great.
not.
You're like what? They're in Florida. They don't
It's too
know.
much work.
Yeah, it's like okay, now I have to come down.
Yeah,
and
right.
He's a busy man.
I don't
want
want
to.
I don't want to disappoint these people.
Right, right.
They,
They're not going to know the difference. And guess what? We put on a show. Like we swept that whole award
That's
show,
right,
man.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The execution is really important.
Yeah, exactly.
Really important. So I do want to, because you go to so many shows, you meet a ton of artists. Obviously, that's a way that you can gather leads. But you're just a music lover, so you're just out there talking with people, different musicians, different bands. I wanted to get your take on the just the importance of that. And I know you've probably encountered some venue owners and different people, and just kind of as a side spiral topic on this. we had Bill Speakman that does the booking at Tellus.
Love Bill.
I've talked to a couple people that do all the booking down in Baltimore, different venues down there. Obviously, we know Corey and stuff doing the local DIY venue thing, and House of Jank, all these other local places.
SRCC.
Yep, exactly. And we have connections with these people, and I'm always picking the brains of how do you book. What makes the decision on how this show is booked? What do you need to bring to the table? Like from being in a band perspective, it's nice to know.
Yes.
But also, it's changing and ebb and flowing. And we had a masterclass session here with Athena Hoytis, who is she is one of the main people at Pop Right Music, which is an independent record label in Maryland. They also do like consulting for bands, and like she did a presentation on how to actually make money with your music. And part of that was how to book shows and how to book shows out of town and different things like that.
Right.
And she puts very little stock in the social, like not in the social media game, but in like the number crunching and the views and the stuff like that, which is a very artist approach to have. And then I talked to Bill and I said, do you consider any of that? And he said, yep. And that's depends on the personality of the person who's booking.
Yes.
Both can be very true at the same point. I'm not saying go and spend all your money to have bots view your videos 100,000 times to get viewership, which is a very real thing that happens behind the scenes with a lot of artists. But that does play a factor. People's perception is really what I'm getting after here. The heart of this is perception becomes your reality, especially in the music industry.
100%.
So what is your take on people getting venue? Obviously, you mentioned that this is an important thing to include, but what's your take as far as bands you've seen maybe that some award or just accolade took them to the next level? Have you seen that happen?
Definitely the Frost duo for sure has definitely. They've always been really good, but they are now all over the place. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that has to do with the award specifically or just because of how talented they are. But I think Hunter Rue got a deal in LA, and that's what made him explode. But there's several ways that these local bands here have gotten really, really big, and have gone places. Cody Tyler, I know, he's also been on The Voice, or was almost on The Voice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know personally any band that has won an award and has exploded off of that alone.
Right.
Because it's hard to keep up with all these bands.
Of course.
But maybe not exploded, but it certainly takes them to that next level.
Sure.
Where you get to that point. So it's not like, that one thing was the
right.
defining
That's
moment.
fair.
That's what made you. But like you were saying that the duo there,
the Frost duo.
The Frost duo.
Yep.
Maybe that wasn't the catalyst that took them
it
to the next
helps.
level, but it certainly helped. It's
of
like
course.
someone
Yeah,
noticed
of
it
course.
because of that, and then like 3 steps later, that's what made a band.
Sure.
That's what hit, so.
In that case, I could say John Smith's Voyages. We're also having them on next Monday. That'll be fun. It's almost like you went to the 80s and grabbed someone and took him back. Mm-hmm. He's got the full 80s thing going on, the mustache, the perm, the everything, and the sound with it too. It's really cool. I think they just won recently an award at the CPMAs. I forget exactly what it was for.
Yeah.
But they're doing really cool stuff. They're a band out of Reading. Excuse me.
So you've seen it, yeah. You've seen it happen, and when you're in contact with these people and the names and the networking and everything, an award or some recognition has a place. It's not all evil.
It does have a place. It's not all evil.
It's not like this is just like, no, man, I'm a real artist. It's like, no, this can help you make some money so you can keep making music.
Exactly.
So kind of dispel that sort of notion that it's just like, no, anti this, anti that. Even Rock and Roll Hall of Fame people, notoriously are just like, yeah, this doesn't mean anything. Well, it's like, well, guess what?
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It
To the
does, 'cause
American
it's
public,
perception.
it does.
It's
Yeah.
perception.
To the
It's
public,
perception.
awards mean a lot of things because the public is always not as of recently, but usually the Grammys and the Oscars and the Emmys used to be these giant cultural moments in the American public. Not
Right.
so much now. But still, having that accolade, oh, I'm in the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame, or oh, I am in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like the Rock and Roll Hall. That's really cool. It's legendary. It's full of people that that we build our cities upon.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? We build upon the giants of of the men
Sure.
before us.
Yeah.
Whatever that quote is.
I was thinking more like we built this city on rock and roll, but
That's also true. But these legends that have come before us, and then we are added to that. I think that's a legacy that is really, really to be proud of, in the American public, and even globally, because our biggest export is culture, are going to accept that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. Sums it up.
Get yourself an award today.
So we're cranking it up.
Get yourself. Okay, that's not the segment.
Oh.
Speaking of segments, we're gonna move on to Hall of Fame. Let's get real nerdy about gear. Let's go back to gear. We've been philosophical for long enough.